Alright, so part 2, we'll proceed forward and give you a little bit more taste. Alright, this is just a learning video to be able to protect ourselves by any means necessary. If we don't know what's going on, how can we protect ourselves?
What we need to do is split the devil's house. Right? And so here's an example. I'm going to show you using Owen Schroyer of InfoWars as our example about what they're doing with people's paperwork in these cases for January 6th. And it isn't just for the cases of January 6th, it's just those are the ones we're going to look at. Right? They do this in every court case. Right? This is what esquires do. They're defrauding the United States. So let me give you an example. Right, for those who don't know, Owen Schroyer gave an update on legal situation and defense funding. So you almost have to smirk to say that the Esquire is going to send you into this lion's den and they want you to pay them to do it, right? Because he needs money for his Esquire, who's supposed to defend him. But his Esquire is really conspiring with these other Esquires against him, which is the same as conspiring against the United States, because Owen's a citizen of the United States. And the judge didn't take proper oath of office, and neither did the prosecutor. It just goes on and on and on, right? But I just wanted to show you some of his paperwork, right, that Owen's being charged with. So this is kind of the original document where it's supposed to be a criminal complaint on an AO-91 criminal complaint form, right? This is an approved form of the United States courts. It's supposed to be, except where it says attested to by applicant, right? That's not on the form that was approved by the United States. Right? That form looks like this, where it has down here, sworn to before me and signed in my presence, which is what you need to do with the sworn statement, with the complaint. You have to swear to it. But that isn't what happened. So not only did this Zia M. Faruqi, who's impersonating a United States magistrate judge because he didn't take the oath as in 1 Stat 23, right? So he's not a United States judge or a magistrate judge. He's just impersonating one. But he allowed them to put in a piece of paper that had changed the form of this official form of the United States. Well, then on top of it, a statement of facts, right? Because that's what it says here. Well, continued on an attached sheet. So here's the attached sheet. And that guy put in a statement of facts, right? Some guy pretending to be a special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, because he didn't take the oath to satisfy 6 of the Constitution. So he's really not a special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He's just an impersonator. But he said he was the affiant. Well, that would mean that this is an affidavit, right? That's what affiants are. They're the person doing an affidavit. But this isn't an affidavit. It's not a sworn statement of facts. It's just a statement of facts. And it goes on for pages and pages and pages of statements of facts, which are all facts. But the fact of the matter is that this guy isn't a federal agent, and this guy isn't a United States magistrate judge, and they're using simulated legal process under color of law to deny Owen of his civil rights and liberties, and they're getting away with it. Right? This isn't an affidavit. There's nothing down here where he swore to anything. So Owen is being arrested under a criminal complaint that doesn't satisfy the federal rules of criminal procedure. Go figure. Right? Well, then they took that, and that was done in D.C., and they said, well, Owen's down in Texas, we got to send it down there, and they sent it down to Texas, and Texas gave it its own case number, right? Western District of Texas, that's what this supposed to be. So now it has this new case number, apparently. And I think they added on this one the arrest warrant, which wasn't on the other one. Let's see, you got an arrest warrant, right? For which is really a John Doe, right? This isn't Owen Schroyer's name, right? I mean, if it was just they should know who it is they're trying to arrest. They didn't give him a date of birth, and they gave him an AKA, and so this isn't any one particular person. This is just a John Doe, right? They want Owen to agree to be the John Doe. Come on in, be the John Doe, right? Agree to be this person here, so we can do what we want to do here. Being led down the path by his esquire. So anyways, the United States, you see how this form is set up, right? Where it's the United States District Court for the District of Columbia. Now, apparently that's okay because that's the way the original form is. So, right, that's the way that we should find the courts being identified by on these other documents. But it's not the case. See, on this next document, which is supposed to be the government's notice of attorney appearance, which they have a form for, by the way, right? But they're not using it. They said they're United States District Court, Western District of Texas. Well, that isn't what it said. It should be United States District Court for the Western District of Texas. That's what the damn complaint went into. Right? U.S. District Court, Western District of Texas. But they're using the for the paperwork. Right? And they gave it a case number. But when we go here and look at this, well, it has that case number up here, but it's not the case number they're using down here. So this court here, with this number, is not the same as the for the court with this number. That's the way they did it. Now here's another form, AO 467. Let's go see what that. So here's AO 467 form. It says United States District Court for the. But when we look at what they put in for Owen, it says United States District Court and doesn't have any for the. They changed the frickin' form. And it doesn't say United States of America, it just says USA. Right? They intentionally changed the form. Right? United States of America versus the defendant. United States District Court for the. Put the information in, right? Fill the blanks in. But that isn't what they did. They acted like they're doing that. And then they gave it a different case number. What's this AU21F? It has nothing to do with this number at the top, which is the number they're saying is the court case number for Owen. Right, here's one that says for the, right, here's United States District Court for the Western District of Michigan, or of Texas. With 121, but no MJ06. So even this court case number isn't the same as this court case number. And this says it was filed in this U.S. District Court, Western District of Texas. But here it says the United States District Court for the Western District of Texas. You can see the inconsistency, sir. This is being done by esquires. Intentionally. Right, here's another one. United States District Court, Western District of Texas. So there's no for the. It's USA, not United States of America. And it's got a different case number than is at the top of the document or on, the other documents that they're using against Owen. He's going into some case, AU21M, right, believing that's the case he's going to, but they're putting the records over in this file over here. Right, this isn't, I don't know what to say. It's just very frustrating to have known these things all this time. I really can't do anything about it. I don't know what the answer is, except to show other people. So that's what I'm doing again. Here's the United States District Court, not any for the, with the AU number, right? Saying that the charging district case number is 121MJ527 or 572, which it really isn't. It's close, but it's not exactly the same. And this is supposed to be the note.
So you guys, to try to understand, this is the reason why some people out there that has been doing all these research, right, became U.S. nationals or anything with national, right? They're pulling themselves out of this crap that they're pulling on the people, right? They know it, but y'all calling them fools, and because y'all really don't have the full understanding what the courts or any other deals is going on, because you look at the paperwork and you just stand as facts that they're correct, right? But when you dig deep in there, you'll find the flaws. For anybody that's in any type of court case, look at their paperwork and look at the flaws.
Some appearance of counsel, right, which isn't the form to use. They have a form for that, but they made this one up, and some dude with a middle initial who says he's admitted to WD Texas, right, is going to be his attorney. This is the guy that Owen's online shilling money for, so this fucker can supposedly defend him. And Owen's going to be led down the path. Here's another one, right, where they took the AO form and they changed the title. 466. AO 466A, United States District Court, for the. Put in the name of the court, United States of America. Okay, well, what did they do with Owen? No, we're not going to do that. We're going to get rid of the for the and put our own title in and get rid of United States of America and put in USA. Right? USA without the initials, that's United States Army. So I'm saying the United States Army is versus Jonathan Owen Schroyer. Well, some Esquires got some shit to answer for, sir. So that's, just an idea of what they do. Every case may be a little different, but they all have these errors in them. I've been pointing it out for some time in a number of videos for quite some time. But what are you going to do about it? Right? So, well, recently I was reading Title 18, so that's not how to do next. Right? This is what I'm going to try to do about it. So hang on a second. So the question begs to be answered, sir. Why aren't the attorneys that are appointed as for defense counsel for the people that have been criminally charged bringing up the fact that the criminal complaint and the statement of facts and so forth are legally insufficient? Instead of having the guy go answer for the freaking charge, they say, well, when you get the charges legally sufficient, then he'll have to answer. But until then, you're just simulating a legal process under color of law, because that's all this is. Once you change this form, it's no longer what it was agreed to be. I mean, the United States Court said this is the form. They altered it. They made counterfeits for conspiring against the United States. It's really that simple. And then in every defendant's case, almost a little bit different, right? They actually in D.C. have him under 3 different names. You got Schroyer Jonathan with an A and Schroyer Jonathan with an O, and then just Schroyer Owen. But in each case, with an A has 2 court cases against him, and with an O has 2 court cases against him. Now they're the same court cases, but there's 4 court cases between these 2 different names. Well, that's like being charged twice for the same crime, because they're all for the same reason. Excuse me. And that doesn't even include the ones that they opened up down in Texas now.
Yeah, it can go in the fridge.
It's on and on and on, right? So we got to figure out new about this shit. This is a conspiracy against the United States.
Yes.
And that's where I'm headed to now.
Yeah,
what am I going to try
we
to
didn't
do?
get it in Icebox, so we can put it on the
Okay,
shelf,
so in Title 18 of the United States Code, which describes your criminal procedures, it has this section, Section 3041, Power of Courts and Magistrates, within which it says that
I'm sitting there.
for any offense against the United States, let's just stop there first, right? So if you want to use the right words, you need to call it offense against the United States, right? So for any offense against the United States, not crime, not conspiracy, yet, right? For any offense against the United States, the offender may, by any justice or judge of the United States, or by any United States magistrate judge, or by any chancellor, judge of a Supreme or Superior Court, chief or first judge of a common pleas, mayor of a city, keep that one in mind, the mayor of the city can do this, justice of the peace or other magistrate, which, who can that be, of any state wherein the offender may be found, and at the expense of the United States, be arrested and imprisoned or released as provided in Chapter 207 of this title, as the case may be, for trial before such court of the United States as by law has cognizance of the offense. Copies of the process shall be returned as speedily as may be into the office of the clerk of such court, together with recognizance of the witnesses for their appearance to testify in the case. A United States state judge or magistrate judge shall proceed under this section in according to the rules promulgated by the Supreme Court of the United States. Any state judge or magistrate judge hereafter may proceed according to the usual mode and procedures of his state, but his acts and orders shall have no effect beyond determining, pursuant to the provisions of 3142 of this title, whether to detain or conditionally release the prisoner prior to trial or to discharge him from arrest. That's a lot of words there to say, well, I should be able to file a complaint for an offense against the United States with anyone, including the mayor of the city, right, who should be able then to arrest the person that's committing the offense against the United States. So it really comes down to, well, what's an offense against the United States? Right, and as it turns out, well, you can download a complete copy of Title 18 if you want to. So I did. And I put in, well, offense against the United States, and said, well, there's 26 different hits in here. Let's just take a look and see what they are. All right, so in Section 2, whoever commits an offense against the United States, rage or offense, counsel's command, so forth and so on, is punishable as the principal. So you don't call him a defendant or criminal, you call him a principal. Right? I get it. So principals are the ones who offend, who commit offenses against the United States. Right, there it is again, accessories after the fact. Whoever, knowing that an offense against the United States has been committed, receives, relieves, comforts, or assists the offender in order to hinder or prevent his apprehension, trial, or punishment is an accessory after the fact. Well, I'm saying that's what these esquires are. They're the principals in offense against the United States because they're altering forms and, doing all sorts of things. Conspiracy to commit an offense or to defraud the United States. If two or more persons conspire, either to commit any offense against the United States or defraud the United States, or an agency, therefore, in any manner, or for any purpose, and one or more such persons do any act to affect the object of the conspiracy, each shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or more. That's what I'm saying that the esquires are doing. Incarcerated person, destruction, misuse of vessels, special assessment. I just want to get down to this one part where they eventually show who has the authority to do something about it. Let's see here. So, all right, powers of Federal Bureau of Investigation. Agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Not special agents, just agents, right? This is the thing. It didn't say special agents. It says agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigation of the Department of Justice. They may carry firearms, serve warrants, subpoenas issued under the authority of the United States, and may make arrests without warrant for offenses against the United States committed in their presence. Well, if they would just watch what Biden and Glover did, Justice Roberts, John Glover Roberts Jr., they would say, well, there's the conspiracy. They can go ahead and arrest him without a warrant. Marshals, right, cannot make any offense against the United States committed in their presence. right? Conspiracy is an offense against the United States. So if it's being done in their presence, they can do it. United States Secret Service, well, they can do it. Make arrests without warrant for any offense against the United States committed in their presence. You can't tell me you guys weren't around when this stuff was happening at the happening on Inauguration Day. And then there's somebody that's ATF, I think, also has it. At the Secret Service. United States Secret Service. Marshals. Yeah, here we go. Powers of special agents of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, right? So now it's special agents that have the authority. Under the FBI, it's just agents, not special agents. And you would see it was a special agent that was filing the complaints against all the people involved in the January 6th fiasco there in D.C. Right? But, so my point is there's these entities in the government that don't need a warrant to effect an arrest, right? If it happened in their presence, to me, we'll show them a copy of the freaking the paperwork and say, well, now it's in your presence, right? So that's one of the things I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try sending something to the special agents of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosives, and also to the Secret Service, which I think is the uniform services you got to send it to. But more on that later. Anyways, I'm just, but the thing is, this thing about the conspiracy, that it's considered an offense against the United States. Now, I want to look a little bit deeper at that, because that's where rubber will meet the road. Let me just, okay, here's that same section, 3041. I like to put them on paper and color them sometimes, and I had done that, so I just want to run through it again real quick, right? So powers of courts, magistrates, for any offense against the United States, that's what we're trying to get. It's not an offense against you or me, it's an offense against the United States, which we may be a victim of, right? But it's an offense against the sovereign, the United States. So it goes to a different level of court. This is the point. It's not individual against individual. It's now conspiracy against the sovereign, and if we would have been in England still, we'd say the king, right? And so it would go to the king's court. It wouldn't go to the lower courts. And the people that can take it is somebody like the mayor of the city, justice of the peace, or other magistrates. So who are the other magistrates? Right? Well, one of the things that a mayor can do is a mayor can solemnize a marriage. Well, so can a preacher. And I've said before in these many videos, right, that preachers have access to gold fringe flags. Right? They're in their freaking office. It's like you're a member of the military because you have a gold fringe flag. And it was given to them in 1917 when they had these churches create these civil organizations that they gave military commissions to under the wartime powers during 1917, and they haven't gone away yet, and they still had the flag. Right? So I say they could do it. Right? This is where I tell them I have somebody do the sworn statement for me. Let me show that real quick. So if you went back and watched a few of my older videos, and you haven't seen these before, you'd see I did one on Christian Church's wartime pledge to God, country, and flag, which all this happened in 1917. Right? It's all in there. And then denominationals commissioned to serve God and country, or serve, God and country. Or just to follow up on it, that these churches got gold fringe flags, and that flag, as I showed before, it's only can be where there's a military presence. And the reason there's a military presence in the church is because of the commission that the churches were given by the Department of War in 1917. It had nothing to do with Congress. And they still have it. And so I'm saying that I should be able to take them a sworn statement form. This is the Army version. Just going to use it as an example of what a sworn statement looks like, where it has the information with you saying you want to make your sworn statement. And I want to, in my sworn statement, say that, X, Y, and Z have conspired against the United States to defraud the United States. And then go on to explain what it's about. And when you get done with your explanation, you get to the last page, and there's where the affidavit is, right? There's an affidavit in a sworn statement, but the sworn statement is not an affidavit, right? It's just done under an affidavit, where you're going to say that you've read whatever is above and you agree that that's your statement. Now, you know, a military officer would understand what this form is. And then you get to this part over here, subscribe smart before me, right? Well, who can do this? Signature, person, administering oath. Authority to administer oaths. Right? Now, a commander, a company commander could do this, right? He would have the authority to do it. But I'm saying a church could do it because they have a Gold Fringe flag. So I should be able to have the preacher put his name down there. And, you know, what's his authority to administer the oath? Well, he's the rector or priest or pastor or whatever of whatever the proper name of the church is. And that's all that it would take. And then the military would accept that as proper oath. Now, I don't know that that's who these other magistrates that we're talking about. Let's get back to that, right? Because who are the other magistrates? Right? Well, if a mayor of the city could do it, then my township supervisor should be able to do it. Because he's supposed to be able to take a sworn statement. That's all.
Okay, so we're going to end the video. It's been long enough there. It's just some ideas of what he talks about. It's Rob Ryder. Look him up. He's got a great deal of information out there. And, you know, at the very least, we know where we're standing in our wink wink government. Right? So he's pulling up these paperwork. He's telling you what they are. Look them up yourself. So that way you have factual evidence. It's not hearsay. Right? If you want to use some of these things in court, you can. Right? Be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. Right? This is the reason why. It's better to represent yourself. Wink wink. You cannot represent yourself if you are yourself, but let's go by the legal terms. Represent yourself in court. Alright, so we can follow some of these paperwork in your court case to put it on record that they are acting in the accordance to the crown and not to the United States. So, this is Diesel We the People News. Till next time, y'all. Bye.